good afternoon. Thank you for being here. Really appreciate that. I'm Michael Ortega. I'm the city manager. I thought I would give you a couple of comments. And before I do that, I do want to mention that there may be a quorum of mayor and council here, and that the advice of council, our council, our city attorney, no questions should go to the council members while they're here. We certainly welcome talking at other times in potential violation of open meeting. So with that, I'd like to do is turn it over to our city attorney, Mike Rankin, give you a couple of comments with regard to the relationship between PTM, TransDev, and the city of Tucson.
So good afternoon. I was just going to lead off by answering the question that's come up a few times as to why is the mayor and council not involved directly in the labor negotiations. And the answer is a legal one. Collective bargaining negotiations have to occur between the employer and the employee group. The SunTran employees are not City of Tucson employees, and there's a reason for that under the law. Under the city charter, city employees do not have and do not have the right to strike and cannot strike. Whereas under the federal law, whenever we receive money, federal money, excuse me, for transit, one of the conditions is that the transit employees have to have collective bargaining rights and the right to strike. So in order to be in compliance with the city charter and remain eligible for the federal funds, which are a big part of our transit budget, we have a management agreement with TransDev as our management company, and the SunTran employees are employees of that company, not of the City of Tucson. Therefore, the City of Tucson and the Mayor and Council in particular cannot be involved in the labor negotiations. Instead, through the management agreement, TransDev is exclusively responsible for the collective bargaining negotiations and the administration of the system. So with that, I'll hand it to the manager.
Thanks, Mike. And as city attorney mentioned, our relationship with TransDev is one of the contractual obligation to provide a service to the residents. What I wanted to do is just go over a few points. First of all, I think there's a question about the priority that the mayor and city council place on transit. And we will have a handout for you in a bit, but really shows the budget and the investment that this council has made over the last several years. And even when dollars were scarce from the general fund and there were reductions in basically all other departments, or most all other departments, the transit investment continued, either was held or actually increased during those years. Another point is, I think it's important to recognize the support that the city council and the mayor have towards labor. There are 4 labor agreements that have been approved. There were negotiators as part of the budget cycle. Both sides came and hammered out, if you will, agreements. And I think, again, that shows the support that this mayor and city council have for labor. Our responsibility is to the people of Tucson. Those folks that need the bus service to get to school, to get to work, to get to doctor's appointments. And so as a result, what I've done is I have asked, suggested, told TransDev that they need to be at the table and make sure that this strike is resolved as expeditiously as possible. I've done that at least 3 times now, as recently as this week. They have assured me that that is the case, that they are willing and able and have encouraged discussions with labor to resolve the strike quickly. The other thing that I have asked them to do is fulfill their contractual obligation and provide service. We have tens of thousands of users of the bus system that are not able to commute, and I've asked them to provide that service as best they can, but I've also been clear to them that any increases in costs or any costs that they may see because of that temporary service would not be in addition to what their budget is. You know, the transit budget is what was established by the council, and that will not be adjusted. There's been question about cost savings. and there's been numbers thrown out. I can tell you that we've analyzed that as of last Thursday. There looks like about a savings of $145,000 a week. That is the number, and that is net. That is based on the analysis. And again, those are numbers that obviously change based on the expansion of service. But as of last Thursday, we were averaging about $145,000 a week in savings. There's also been a conversation and question about monies that were turned back to the general fund in previous years. I can tell you that we have not closed out the fiscal year 15 audit or entire budget yet. It looks like we will have about $500,000 that was saved in 2015, predominantly because of fuel. The fuel cost went down, and quite frankly, if the fuel cost had not gone down, we probably would have been over budget. Those dollars were reprogrammed back into the general fund, and one of the recipients of that obviously is transit. There seems to be an understanding, or at least a question about the budget process and establishing or reopening the budget discussion. I will not recommend that. The budget process, the integrity of the budget process is extremely important to maintain. It starts back in February or even earlier than that. There's discussions about priorities, not just obviously about transit, but about all other services that are provided by the city of Tucson. And that is extremely important to remember as we go through these, because there's a whole process, there's a whole discussion that goes on with the budget process. With that, I'd be happy to answer any questions. Yes, sir.
Did you say that there was $500,000 in savings of fuel, and what has occurred with those savings? Did they go back into the transit budget?
Yes.
So they've already been
The general
allocated?
fund, absolutely. It's a part of the 2016 budget, yes, sir.
And then also, what knowledge did the city have that the TransDev had been advertising out of state for replacement workers?
I do not have knowledge of that, other than what I have read in some of the.
Can you guys use that $145,000 a week that you're saving? Could that go towards negotiations, or?
The city doesn't get involved in negotiations, so we can't direct that to be used. The SunTran budget is set, so the TransDev folks can basically look at those dollars, all the dollars that are allocated, and then try to resolve the strike. But they would have to be the ones to make that decision.
So whose $145,000 is that? Is that the city's money, or is that TransDev's money?
Through the budget process, I would say it's TransDev's. At the end of the budget process, it would go back to the city if it's not used.
So they don't get to keep whatever they save on the budget as a profit?
Absolutely not.
But they're still earning their full management fee right now, even though they're providing only a fraction of the bus service they contracted to?
Contractually, we are required to pay them for their service. Yes. Yes, ma'am.
What are the city's thoughts about the bus riders union proposal to not pay fares as pressure to have the city do something about the strike?
I really don't have any comment on that. The mayor and I did take time to meet with some bus users. We had this room full of folks that gave us their anecdotal situations. And that's one of the reasons why this has got our attention. Obviously, we understand people are suffering, and there's tens of thousands of people that are not able to get to and from work and so forth.
Besides,
Sir. Go ahead.
yeah, besides, I guess, just telling both sides to get to the table, is there anything else the city can do?
Not at this point. And basically, we have, as I mentioned, told the management company need to be at the table. Assured me that that's the case. I can encourage labor to do the same. That's really all we can do because of the relationship, as Mr. Rankin outlined. Yes, sir.
If I heard you correctly at the beginning, you said that the employees that are out on strike are employees of TransDev. That's not exactly true, is it? They're employees of SunTran, and TransDev actually is manager of SunTran.
I don't know that I made that comment. I think
They're employees of SunTrans.
SunTrans. Any other questions? Okay, thank you very much, appreciate it.